Hi there. This is an unexpected video. I guess I'd call this one a low quality video, so just be ready for that. Because my film crew, otherwise known as Jen and Captain Morgan, they're down visiting there in the States, so they might be down where you are. The lesser 48, as I like to call it. I was talking to one of my friends up here in Alaska. Okay, so technically I guess he lives in Juneau. I told him that I was building this truck bed camper for camping, you know, here on Kodiak. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the world of trailers and campers, I'm sorry, but it's lost its freaking mind, okay? If you're in the market for a camper right now, whether it's a bus, camper, trailer, RV, whatever, Class A, Class B, Class C, Super C, whatever. Actually, I take that back. Super Cs seem to be kind of affordable. You know, the big Freightliner chassis that look like a semi, and then it's got a Class A back with a bed over the top. Those seem to be pretty affordable for what they are. Between 40 and 80,000 used, but everything else, they just lost their mind. I mean, they want like $15,000 for a 30-year-old Scamp. I just don't think Scamps are that great. Sure, they're watertight and they're durable, but there's no bathroom. What's the point of having a camper if you don't have a bathroom? That just makes it a hard tent with wheels. Anyway, my buddy out there in Juneau said, Larry, you gotta show people what you're building. Brand placement. What are you getting at, bud? Can use his name, Mark. What you're doing's interesting, so you ought to show people. Okay, so I'll show you. Then go ahead and hit like. You can either like it, not like it, subscribe, unsubscribe. Here's what I'm doing. So you might think, boy, that looks cluttery there. Is that an Alaska thing? Yeah, it is an Alaska thing. When you live out in the bush here, you're mainly concerned with keeping things where you need them and hanging on to stuff that you might need in the future. Because throwing stuff away isn't that easy. Anyhow, so here's my Cash Camper. Now, Cash Camper is this awesome outfit run by a guy with a really cool name, Larry. Oh, yeah. Out there in Palmer, Alaska. This is a 1990 and a half Dodge, and it's been a home-built truck that I've had for coming up on 20 years, I think. What I'm doing is I'm building a platform for the back of the truck. You can get any kind of wood here at the sawmill on Kodiak Island as long as it's Sitka spruce. So these are all 12-inch. These are all 1x2 battens. So when you build a house board and batten, you got the big boards lined up and then you got the little boards covering the gaps, like for a cabin or something. I'm gonna get enough battens to cover this thing for a queen-size bed, and then I gotta figure out the height because my wheel wells are 12 inches, which is a lot taller than modern trucks. I don't know what thickness mattress to get or how I'm gonna get one shipped here yet. Battens on, then I'm gonna lay on it, see what kind of clearance I've got, and go from there. You know, some people might say, Larry, why didn't you wait for it to stop raining? Well, because I'm on Kodiak. It always rains. Heading out to the truck, let's go to the lumber mill. A little gentle vibration there of the 6-speed manual. Jen says I ramble too much in these things. Well, you probably already signed off, so you're not gonna hear what I say next. Now, if I'd have brought the gimbal with me, this would be simple. Sorry, the truck's not terribly quiet while I'm driving. Privately maintained, which means it's pretty much not maintained. It's one step above a logging road. I don't know, you might find this interesting. So you see my speedometer there? That's miles per hour. We're doing about 14. Here on Kodiak, somewhere between 14 and 17 is about as fast as you want to go. I gotta say, the drive here is probably, it might be a mile. Here's the lumber mill. This guy Paul, he's second or third generation. I imagine he's rather camera shy, so I'll hang back. See this little hut right here? That was built by the high school about 15 years ago. That's the corporate headquarters of the Kodiak Island, Alaska lumber mill. Paul's always rebuilding something. He's got that old BMW there. Great little spot. And over there is the battens. That's what I'll be getting today. Still, while we're here, I'll show you what the lumber mill looks like. That's pretty much it. Okay, so I couldn't bring myself to film interacting with old Paul here. Coolest dude in the world, but he's from a different time and a different place. That's all I can say. There's some sad news. Guess they voted in. They're going to pave this road. $1.5 million. But I guess people will be able to drive faster. It always comes in handy if you've been drinking or there's kids walking around. So what's your road look like when you're driving home? Well, this is pretty much what it looks like most of the time in the summer. This is how it works here in Alaska. So, you got an old Chevy truck, it quits working after you put it. I wonder what color that truck was when it left the factory. Anyway, it quits working. What do? You put it in the front yard and leave it there. You got a boat that quit working. What do? Hey, put it in the front yard and leave it there. By the way, his house is on the ocean, a gazillion-dollar view. You might say to yourself, why would I have a $1 million home on a $1 million ocean on Kodiak Island, Alaska, and only have it sided with Tyvek? Here's the trick. So it's got to do with the tax man. It's all about taxes, right? And I don't do politics. I'm not doing politics with you. So how's this work? In Alaska, when you get a building permit to build a place, if you haven't put the siding on it yet, then it's not considered finished. It's still considered under construction. If it's still under construction, when the tax man comes by, it doesn't have an appraised value as a finished building yet. Not dumb. By the way, don't try driving and filming yourself unless you happen to live on a little trail on Kodiak Island in Alaska where there's nobody. See? Nobody. Nobody. It's gonna stay nobody. Brand placement. Now Jen's gonna look at this video I'm gonna put together. She's gonna be like, oh my God, what are you doing editing your own videos? Put down the camera and walk away slowly. I know that's what she's gonna say. Back when I worked construction, one of the primary rules that the boss used to say, actually he's dead, he died in a boating accident. So he went out and tried doing the job that I used to do for him. Well, it didn't work out. He fell off the boat. They found him the following spring. One of his rules was this: whatever you do, never back a truck with the tailgate open, because you're gonna take out whatever's behind you. Here's the thing, battens really aren't strong enough to hang out the backs, and I only had to drive a mile. If you're one of the Wonder Lodge people that is really into the whole bus thing, project update, here's the Cherokee. This is gonna be our towed. I started building a tow hitch for this in fall, and then winter came. So the tow hitch is not complete. That project is gonna be coming back up, but it's camping season and Gillnet season, so we gotta get this project done. Okay, tell me that's not just a sexy piece of America right there, except it is automatic. This is a map of Kodiak Island. We are in Monashka Bay, which is this bay right here. Okay, yeah, I know I should have brought a tripod out, but you know, gotta get some work done around here. That whole gotta make hay when the sun shines thing, well, that holds double for Kodiak. All right, so these four, they're all 10 feet something. Trying to minimize waste here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out how this is divisible so that I can wind up with my 60-inch queen mattress in there and try to have as much overlap as possible and as least waste. They'll stand on this side so it's not upside down for you guys. Up here, a lot of stuff is metric because, you know, Yukon Territory is the closest thing to us, right? That's part of Canada. So, tools. Every YouTube video has to talk about tools. All right, leather gloves, a speed square, plans and notes that you're gonna disregard. Cordless power stuff. I prefer Milwaukee, but I have DeWalt. A saw, because I tend to use the saw more than anything. Tape measure, wood, a truck bed. These are safety glasses. Trust me. Oh, and the most important thing, if you're shooting a YouTube video, turn off the man music. You know what I'm talking about. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Aerosmith, later ZZ Top, although the early stuff was good too. Okay, so one thing my pro editor taught me was, don't say step 1, step 2, A, B, C, whatever, because it's gonna be out of order. Early in the process, cut yourself a jig. This is going to be a piece of scrap, and it's what I'm going to use to tell the spacing on all the battens when I put them in here. Okay, step whatever early in the process. Next step, I'm going to take some of these long battens and put them on each side so I can figure out where my 60 inches of width is, attach them, and then that'll be my horizontal jig. Next thing, little construction tip. When you're measuring a distance from here to here, and you have a tape measure, a lot of people keep, bending the tape to try to figure out the length. If you read the tape itself, see right there how it says 3 inches or 76 millimeters? If you just add or deduct 3 inches from the length, like I'm going for 60 inches, that's easy. Just go 57 and then include the tape measure and I don't have to bend it. Second thing, a lot of people look at a tape measure and they think, hey, how come this end's always loose? See how this has some play in it right here? The reason for the play is because if you're measuring something on the inside, you push it and it'll slide in and it'll compensate for the thickness of the metal. If you're measuring the length of something this way, it'll slide out. That'll compensate for that length as well. Okay, next, I'm gonna take my little jig, set it here, and now that I know my width, I'm just gonna take my battens and I'm just gonna start slamming them in here in a crisscross pattern. Okay, and then as I go, I just take my battens, whatever length they are, put them up against my runner there, and put my spacer in here, square it up, and just keep working right on through. Ooh. So I'm working my way back. Now I've gotten back to my structural batten here that goes full length, wheel well to wheel well. So now I'm just gonna split the difference and keep on going. Walmart of Alaska, here I go. Can't believe I had to come here. Just in that 3 or 4 minutes in the store, I'd say temperature dropped, I don't know, 10 degrees, and it's raining. I tell you, I love this island. I was gonna say, I think the road might be paved at this part, but I don't know, I can't tell, is that paved or just well graded? School speed limit, 20 miles an hour, as if you could go any faster. Right now I'm doing 12. That's fast enough. One of my buddies suggested a time lapse. That would have been brilliant a couple hours ago. I've kind of modified my plans a little bit since it only costs, well, I'm not going to say what my lumber cost is. Let's just say it's not very high. I'm going to modify it a little bit. Instead of doing the offset ones, I'm just going to do full 60. 60-inch all the way. All right, well, here you go. Decided to show you what the final product looked like, kind of. I mean, the bed is on its way, the mattress. So here's how it finally turned out. I neglected to mention I had to make my own 12-incher here with a 10-inch and 2-inch put together. You work with what you can get, right? So let me know in the comments, what do you think?